I'm Alexander. I'm a program specialist for the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Buffers can be implemented around a wet meadow, shallow swamps, shallow marshes, or really along any ditch, gully, creek, or pond. This would include a rapidly eroding stream bank, also the presence of a lot of bare soil that's exposed in the riparian area. The downcutting and widening of the stream will be another sign. Also, the lack of cover and tree canopy can also be signs that a buffer should possibly be implemented there. A buffer can be created essentially by finding a way that deters livestock or wildlife from entering the buffer. So this could be by creating fencing or temporary fencing or any other kind of barriers that prevent the access of livestock to that area. The size of a riparian buffer is not something that's typically defined with one answer, so it's kind of a different solution will fit a different need. But generally speaking, some of the minimum sizes of our buffers might be a 25-foot buffer from the edge of a creek going outward. Other barriers could include hardened crossings and the placement of alternative water sources. Also, drift fencing and stockmanship can help create those opportunities that livestock will then be avoiding the riparian area. In that case, you might want to consider alternative water sources or piping water from the creek or spring area that's more sensitive over to an area that's more proper for all of that livestock to be present. Well, your fencing is going to have its own maintenance requirements, but our riparian buffers should be managed to some degree, either on a yearly basis or depending on the weather conditions, the seasonality. You might be doing yearly flash grazing in the winter, depending on the conditions, or in more wet years where your flows are higher in your stream, you might be having less frequent management. But other management techniques could also be going after invasive vegetation, utilizing herbicides might be useful in taking out some of the invasive woody species that could be popping up in your riparian area, especially when these invasive plants threaten the integrity of your available forage or your water quantity that might be available. Not necessarily. When our riparian areas are in an initial round of recovery, there might be a seed bank that's already available in the ground, and you would not need to go get additional seed. However, if your area has been more damaged and you are looking for helping to jumpstart that recovery, you might look into obtaining a seed mix that is specifically for riparian recovery. This will have a diversity of forbs, grasses, sedges, and other riparian trees that will help and establish that riparian area once again. Yes, herbicides can be useful when combating some of those invasive woody plants that pop up in our riparian areas from time to time. Yes, buffer areas can be used for grazing. This publication from the Bureau of Land Management, we'll have a link to this. This is an essential guidebook for considering grazing and management of riparian areas. Contact your local soil and water conservation district office and use the office locator webpage for the NRCS.